This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of the top 3 NASCAR series, send them through the N ratings algorithm, set them up by their provisional lineups, and set the forecast as they will be on race day, and we see what the computer says will be the finishing order on race day. A quick look at the finish of the Xfinity race, and it's Justin Haley pulling off the slingshot at the right time to win over Austin Cindric, Daniel Hemrick, Harrison Burton, Jeremy Clements also there in the top 5. Brad Moffitt switching into Xfinity points recently, gets 12th in the last race winner at Martinsville. Josh Berry gets 13th. No major crashes in this one, just a couple of mechanical issues for Jason White and Natalie Decker. And now it's time for the Cup race. Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano on the front row. Last time we were at a Superspeedway, on the oval at least, at Daytona, Michael McDowell stole the Daytona 500. Who will take the victory here today? 188 laps around this 2.66 mile course. Green flag flies. Hamlin got the jump on the start. He's able to blend up on the top lane, and now he's going to try to work both lanes to make the block. Truex Jr. trying to go down low, and Hamlin will switch lanes, trying to make sure that he stays out in front. As they're going 3 wide already, Byron, Elliott, and I believe Blaney on the inside. As far as average finish goes here, the 2 JTG Doherty racing cars are putting them at the top. Ryan Preece, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Obviously, Stenhouse driving for Roush Fenway for a number of years, but he is still pretty solid at this type of racetrack, and he is going to see if that performance can help him get another victory. He found his first career win here in the 17 car. Brad Keselowski, a 5-time winner at this racetrack. He's holding on to the end of this lead pack at the 10th position. 9 different winners in this race. Denny Hamlin, the most recent winner in last year's fall race. 9 top 5s to his name. Riding on board Ryan Newman, looking at Kurt Busch. 21 times he's gotten a top 10 at this racetrack, but never gotten a win. Trying to see if he can beat P1 here today, which would be a big boost to him, especially as he is so close to the cut line in the playoffs. Got pit stops coming up halfway through the stage, and Brad Keselowski gets turned back onto the racetrack and clobbered by Eric Almirola and the Daytona 500 winner Michael McDowell. Wow, what a tough break, and another car goes through, and that's Ryan Newman. Riding on board Almirola, the 42 got into the 2, and Almirola was not coming to pit lane. He clobbers the 2, the 34 runs in there as well. And as the 10 was coming to a stop, that's where the 6 car hit him. And fortunately, everyone else is going to go right by. And that was not a good situation for either the 42 or the 4 car, both of whom completed their stops, and they got put a lap down. For Chastain, that's a bit of a penalty to him for making the turn, but for Harvick, he's just kind of an innocent victim there. The laps led here are pretty scattered, as you would imagine, but Joey Logano holds the most, just under 400 laps entering today's event. And we come to the end of Stage 1, and it's going to be Denny Hamlin who is out in front. Joey Logano, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Larson, and Ryan Blaney will make up the top 5. Also see Ryan Preece and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. getting points. We mentioned those JTG cars have a great average finish here at this track. Heading to the restart, Hamlin's still out in front, Logano and Truex following. Kevin Harvick still looking to get his lap back. He's out in front now. Kyle Larson is now finding his way to the front. Kind of surprising, 26 career races on a superspeedway, no top 5s. You have to remember the 2017 Daytona 500, he was potentially on pace to score the victory there, but ended up running out of gas. But beyond that, never found his way into the top 5 at one of these racetracks. Alex Bowman, last week's winner, has a playoff berth, and a little bit further back in the pack, trying to work his way up. And there's going to be a problem here. Chase Briscoe in the 14 car. Sounds like something's gone wrong in the motor. He's waiting to get to the low line. And one more car coming. That's 66, and now he can get down. Looks like he'll drop out of the race, but we stay green. Looking forward at Ryan Blaney, 2-time winner at this racetrack, back-to-back actually. Second race of 2019, first race of 2020. Both in photo finish fashion. We're also riding on board Harrison Burton, making his Cup debut. He ended up finishing 10th in the range-shortened Xfinity race. Oh, another issue under a Ford motor. Anthony Alfredo, the other rookie in the field. Something's gone bad in the motor, and he's going to try to limp it around. He is on the very worst spot that he could have been when that went wrong. We'll have to creep around the pit lane, and we see pit stops coming up. Lap 97, Kyle Larson in, and shortly after we'll see a little bit of a bigger group, including Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott. Splitting these stages into just past halfway. Make sure they make it to the end. And we see a 3-car breakaway trying to get to the end of stage 2, including Elliott, Hamlin, and Larson. Christopher Bell had some issues on pit lane. He had an extended stop, but he is now about 5 laps down. So it looks like his race is effectively over. He's definitely not getting the win. Martin Truex Jr. is caught up to this pack that's at the front, but he is not going to be able to get to the front. The stage is going to end up going to Denny Hamlin once again. Sweeps the stages, looking for the race win now. Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Kyle Larson make up the top 5. Chris Buescher finds his way up to 6th place. Good run for him. We head into the final stage now, and Denny Hamlin leading the way over Chase Elliott and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. They took pit stops under that break, and they're going to have to make one more before the end of the race. We've mentioned Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as kind of a wild card factor here, and he is working his way to the front. 2 career wins both at Superspeedways and 6 top 5s at this racetrack, so you definitely don't want to sleep on him this late in the race. Looking at Chris Buescher, who is working his way through the field into the top 10. He is currently at the cut line, trying to face off against Kurt Busch. Both of them are on the lead lap, and obviously Buescher is up there in the top 10, but Busch is still around just a little bit further back. Martin Truex Jr. has never won at a superspeedway despite a famous photo finish in which he came out second. 64 career races, 5 top 5s only. Let's try and see if he can make it 6 and possibly get a victory. Kyle Larson will pit, this time with William Byron, his teammate, around him. And we're also seeing here Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano coming down. I couldn't tell if there was contact there, but it doesn't look like it's going to hurt the 22 that much. But the 24 and the 5 pitting together really worked out. You want that drafting partner, and they are out in front now. And another issue for a Stewart-Haas racing car, Kevin Harvick now blowing up. Second engine failure for the Stewart-Haas racing bunch, and the third for a Ford. Ford engines are just not holding up, despite the fact that they are really dominant at these types of tracks. And we're going to have another problem. Ryan Blaney now slowing down. This sounds like a tire issue, so he will be able to get back on course, but he was running inside the top 10. That's a big disappointment for him. Meanwhile, Denny Hamlin has worked his way back to the front, and it looks like now William Byron starting to lose the draft with Kyle Larson. The lap traffic seems to be getting in the way. They are really separated. There's just not a pack around to make this some close racing, but Denny Hamlin has taken the white flag, and he is out in front, looking to see if he can get another victory at this racetrack. He won this race in 2014, and he also won the most recent race here in controversial fashion, obviously, but he is definitely showing the speed today and proving to everyone else that they cannot keep up. And it's going to be a much-needed statement as well, because despite being the points leader, he doesn't have a win yet. But coming through the tri-oval and to the start-finish line, Denny Hamlin's going to claim his 3rd win here at Talladega and his 1st win of the season. So victory will go to the 11 car. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Joey Logano, and Chase Elliott will make up the top 5. And Martin Truex Jr., we talked about him possibly getting the top 5. That is not going to happen. He's going to come up just short on that front. Kyle Larson, though, did get that top 5, and that will be his 1st ever on a superspeedway. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finds himself into 7th place, and we see Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, Kyle Busch making up the top 10, followed by Ryan Preece just outside that mark, and Alex Bowman, last week's winner, getting a 12th place to back up that victory. Kurt Busch, the last car on the lead lap. Cole Custer, the first 1 lap down. He got stage points in that 2nd stage. And despite tangling with Brad Keselowski, Ross Chastain came home in 19th. Harrison Burton, 22nd in his debut. Ryan Blaney fell 2 laps down with his cut tire. He'll fall to 25th. and plenty of issues for Ford drivers, either by crash damage or mechanical issues. All 6 DNFs were by Fords. That is it for NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoy the race, and we will see you all next time.